All right, let's get this started here. I'm probably gonna regret using the wired headphones, but that's okay. So let me know if you could see and hear me in the chat. Looks like the channel's right on. This chat program is really grinding my gears over here. So let me just get this set up really quick. This thing is glitchy. I have a software that reads all the chats from the live broadcast and it is not working. Okay, let's try that. If you could see and hear me clearly, please let me know in the chat. All right, today what we're going to talk about is reckless strumming, okay? Reckless strumming, being reckless with your strumming. Now, this is going to help you with your overall guitar sound. This is going to help with your coordination. Before we get to that, I wanted to mention that if you want to work with me where I'm helping you on your playing to help you with the songs you want to learn with less practice time, then definitely check out playfromdayone.com, add your name to the waiting list, and I'll reach out to you to discuss our options in helping you play songs way faster. When I'm saying way faster, well, the title's called Play From Day One, so we're playing music right away. Doesn't matter if you just started or if you've been playing for years. So let's talk about strumming. When it comes to strumming, what I find many guitar players who kind of sound amateur, which is totally normal. Sometimes on some techniques that I play, I've been playing for over 20 years, and some techniques that I play when I'm not familiar with them, they might sound amateur. So when I say amateur, I don't mean that you've been playing for, for a couple of days, or, you're not able to do anything. When you're not able to play something sounding in a refined way or in musical time, or when you're just getting used to a technique, it could sound amateur, and that's totally fine. So I don't want you to be afraid of that word. And it's also, with that said, let's flip that. It's also possible to sound pro even if you've been playing for a couple of days. It matters how you approach guitar and how you play. So basically, with strumming, what I find one of the main things, one of the main problems is guitar players will be very, very particular about hitting all the correct strings. Okay, so what happens is they hold the pick flat on the strings, and it sounds very clunky where they'll go like, because they're just strumming through the strings like this. And it's very stiff sounding and very stiff looking and very stiff feeling if you're the player. You play like that. So the first thing that you want to do, you might hear guitar players say like, oh, we'll just relax your hand. Okay, and then there's other things. You can just adjust the angle of the pick. Yes, so if you, instead of going like this where it's flat, you can tilt it a bit so there's less friction, for sure. Not that you would hold it like that, I'm just showing you the pick, but it would be like, rather than this, it would be a little bit more like that. So yes, that does help for sure. But then you might have a guitar player that's playing like doing this kind of thing with the wrist where it's too much movement, where that doesn't sound good either, or feel good or look good. Like that doesn't work either. So instead, what you want to do is you want to be reckless with your strumming first. Okay, now what do I mean by reckless? I mean that if you were an 8-year-old and you picked up a guitar and you just picked it up and you're just going like that, you know how 8-year-olds just go crazy, just like that's what you want to be doing while with chords and with a little more structure than that. But you want to be approaching it from a reckless standpoint first, because what you have to understand is the first thing that you're going for on guitar is not making things sound perfect or making things sound refined. It's to get a coordination down. Okay, so it's to make sure that you have a coordination. So for example, this is going down and up, this is going side to side. It's kind of like tapping your head and rubbing your belly. It's a coordination. You have to get that coordination down. And I'm not talking that you first get coordination down and then months later you get to sound good. This could all happen in the same day. It's just that first you have to understand that the coordination is what you're after. So when you're playing, if let's just say you're playing G to maybe, let's say to C to D. So you're playing that, something like Twist and Shout. Then what you want to do is, if you're playing this, where it sounds so clunky, clunk, 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 clunk. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you don't care about how many strings you're hitting on each chord. Like for example, that G chord takes 6 strings, the C chord takes 5 strings, the D chord takes 4 or 5 strings. And if you're always worried about, 6 and then 5, 4, it's going to slow you down mentally. There's going to be too much tension here. You're going to shift your focus on the wrong things. It's not going to sound musical. It's going to be too tight, so you're not even going to be able to last that long because it's going to create too much lactic acid in your muscles, so you're going to get tired faster, which makes you tighten up even more. And instead, what you want to do is just be reckless. Who cares if you play 6 strings on a D chord, or if you don't play enough strings? Maybe you're not even playing enough strings, so you need to play all 6, but you are only playing 3 or 4. That all falls in the category of reckless, okay? So you understand, like, we want to just be reckless first, where who cares what happens here, as long as you're doing the strokes. So for example, let's say the strumming pattern was even something simple, down, 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 down. Let's just say that was the thing, steady strums. So just don't worry about this. Look at your chords over here and just be reckless with your strumming like an 8-year-old would. Even if you hit the wrong string, so check this out. Yeah, there's some extra stuff on that D chord. Guitar's still fine, music's still okay, it's not perfect yet, but it still felt better because it was actually, you're playing it with kind of like a lack of care. That lack of tension really created a lack of, or the lack of care created a lack of tension, and that's what we want first. It's so easy to take what's working there, that feeling, remember, tapping your head, rubbing the belly, taking that coordination, and then turning that into something that's more refined. So for example, on that D chord, if you're playing it at first and you're playing it really recklessly, like that, it's easy after that to take the coordination. Like for example, if I'm tapping my head and rubbing my belly, it's easy to then tap my cheek. And like, for example, let's just say I have to go here and rub my belly. Like, I'm already doing the tapping motion. I'm already doing the strumming motion. And now all I'm doing is then refining it. So this is why I say play now, polish later. Be reckless with your strumming first and then refine. You have to be okay with it not sounding good for a few minutes, or maybe for the first practice session, or maybe for half the practice session. You have to be okay with that, because the first goal is creating the coordination of getting the strumming hand and the fretting hand coordinated, synced up. So down, 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 down. Or maybe the pattern is down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Be reckless with it. Play all the strings. Play whatever. Don't even worry about this over here. Just be reckless with it. If you do that, already you will have less tension and you'll be able to focus on completing that, almost like a download bar, 100% complete on the coordination. And once you have that, then you can refine. Then you could look over here once the coordination's good and once you have some muscle memory on the chords, then you could refine. And you could also work with muting. I'll talk about this some more in some future videos, where you could mute things and you could still stay reckless. But like, for example, I'll give you an idea of this. Basically, if I play a power chord, but if I lay my index finger across, not pressing, but just touching, then these strings are muted and these strings are sounding. And then if I'm reckless, I'm only hearing the notes that I want to play, but I could stay reckless with the strumming. This is how, when you see people playing live and they're going crazy, this is a way that they still sound good, is by muting. And I'll talk about this in future videos. But let me know if that's helpful. Let me know if you understand that the coordination is what's most important when you're playing, especially with strumming. Everything that I'm doing, it also applies to picking as well. But be okay with it not sounding good temporarily, and that temporarily could be 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, one practice session, whatever. But understand that you have to get the coordination down first, because once you get the tap and rubbing the belly, then you can tap over here, tap wherever, and it doesn't matter because you have that coordination down, and then you refine. Okay, then you refine, so you can work on how high the tap is, or where the location of the tap is. So the same thing goes with, first make sure that you're reckless, and then you can refine the angle of the pick, exactly what strings it hits, or if you have to mute anything, or if you have to only play a couple of strings, or if you have to start from another string. These are the things that we do after the coordination is built. Okay, thanks Chris, cool. All right, so if you enjoyed this video, if you want me to help you learn songs faster, to help you with these coordinations much faster, less practice, more songs, more playing, then definitely check out Play From Day One. Add your name to the waiting list. It's an invite-only program, and add your name to the waiting list. You'll see some videos on the page of very happy members who are playing songs and solos and different things that they've taken years before. We work together a little bit, and they're able to play. So I want to give you the same opportunity to work with me and to get those results. Check out playfromday1.com. Just follow the directions on the screen, and then I'll reach out to you if it feels like a good fit, and then we could talk about your options and the potential of working together. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please like, share, comment. I answer all questions, I read all comments, and I look forward to seeing all of them. So see you in the next video, and we'll talk soon. Take care.